guys. My friend gave me this. Let's do a taste test and see what we think. Welcome, I'm Tracy. This is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Cove. And look at these beautiful, I'm going to move you instead of the thing because I can't. These beautiful sunflowers. Aren't they beautiful? Sunflowers are my favorite. They're so happy and cheerful. And they're my mother's favorite too. I just think they're gorgeous. So I got that. People, yeah, I've got some tulips. People brought me tulips. Too bad they don't last so long. I try to help them, but you know. So this is, my friend got me, went in the grocery store and got me all kinds of stuff. So this is soft-baked almond flour bars, nutty banana bread. I've been really craving banana bread. And Sue made me banana muffins. Oh my God, they were so good, but I shared them because I thought you can't sit here and eat 4 huge muffins. Well, you could, but you're not. So only purposeful ingredients. Wow, only purposeful ingredients. Like, what's the motto of your life? Purposeful. Kind of like that. So it has coconut, almonds, chia, flax, and sunflower seeds. Tapioca starch, bananas, molasses, organic coconut oil, raisin juice concentrate. Raisin juice. Wow, that just seems raisin juice. I mean, I'm fine alarm for myself. I'll tell you about this too. Anyway, egg white, sea salt, baking soda, organic cinnamon, rosemary extract. For freshness, it is, and it says distributed in Chicago. So let's try one. I think I had a blueberry one once. And wow, they're 160 calories, but they're full of really good stuff. 3 grams protein, that's nice. 2 grams fiber. I've just been trying to get back to eating protein. You know, sometimes it's so much easier than you can't have this, but yeah, let's just fill our bodies up with protein and fruit. So, it smells like they smell. A little dry. I could probably get used to eating them. But I'd probably rather just make a loaf of banana bread and have it. I don't know how much they were. One, things are crazy expensive. What I think I'm going to do is, I've kind of gotten a little bit away from having yogurt and apples and all that good stuff, just because it was hard to cut apple. And but that crumbled up on top of it. Half of it or a fourth of it or something, that would be good. And I've been threatening myself to make chia seed pudding every single day. I have everything out now, and that's on my list to do today. And I've been craving, so if you're just randomly coming on this video, I just had rotator cuff surgery in early February. And immediately it's about 6 weeks of doing nothing, and then you start PT, and I'll probably, he said, he's like, you know, you'll be doing PT for a while, and I get 90 free a year. And I said, well, my goal is 100% usage of my arm. So I'd like to be able to join the gym, you know, do something, you know, safely with weights and all that kind of stuff. So that's my goal. It's going to take time. You know, what was fascinating with me when I went to him, because he had put 6 weeks, you know, for my being off, and I had to get him to extend it. He said he does it because people don't come back. But they have to come back if they want extended, right? And I just thought, I know it's human nature, and I do it too. Like, you know, I used to do, I had a TMJ, and I have these exercises to do, and I did them really a long time, and then I stopped, and I have a little bit of it now, but there's no way I can fit in going into PT for TMJ on top, because I'm going to go back with no leave to work. I'm so grateful that I have a sick leave bank I can borrow from, FMLA, and I'm very thankful. So, yeah, so I can't, the place I'm going to go to PT for is, the first doctor I saw before I got a second opinion, because he was nut job, he's like, you have to come and do PT here because you're a special case, which is Rockville, which is his business. And I thought, so people are going to have to drive up here, get me, and take me there. But everything, when I thought this guy was a little bit off and I didn't feel good with him or the business, Then when I talked to my new doctor, he's like, you can go wherever you want. So there's 2 places near me. One is 4 turns. And, you know, it's going to be so much easier, and they have really good hours. So let's say I had to be there at 7 and I'm out at work till 12, I can come home and then get ready, right? So this just seems like, now, I don't know at some point if I feel like, you know, the other place I went to is more like a gym thing. So but I'll say this, I called that place, talked to my trainer guy, the PT guy, and I wanted to seek some advice from him, and he never called me back, or texted me. So I kind of feel like this will be good. But, you know, the most important thing is, and like I said, wow, people really don't come back for the second appointment. And he goes, no, they think like they're feeling better. And, you know, I mean, wow, this is major. I said, well, I will come to every single appointment that you want me to come to. I mean, that's, you know. But when I was talking to Josh, he was doing my at-home PT. And I do these, so what you do is you bend over and you dangle, you let your arm hang, right? And you want to move it, but you can't, the arm, shoulder can't move it. So you move your body and the arm has to hang. That was challenging me. I'm a pro now. And then you go back and forth, but you know, it's really interesting not to engage your shoulder. I'm really good at it now, which is again, a thing for life. You know, it sucked for a while. And then, and I do it, I could do it, but you want me to do it between 2 and 6 times. So each week I would add another. So like now I do it 5 times. I'll probably do it 6 times today as I'm in week 6. And so I was talking to Josh about it, and he's like the physical therapy guy that comes and visits me. And he said, I would say 75% people don't do their homework. Like, here's the exercises I want you to do on the days you're not here, right? You get homework. And he said, yeah, it's a high number of people who just don't do it. And he said, this is so sweet. In the beginning, he would lay awake at night upset because he knew how limited they were going to be in the long run. And he couldn't figure out how to get people to do it. And then he said, you know, he was younger. And then he said, you know, he realized it's not up to him, that he can just do his best kind of thing and be a cheerleader and really be honest. But, and I'm really good in the beginning. Like, you know, it's going to be, well, I'm going to probably be in physical therapy for 8 months. So, but it never made sense to me. And I had friends that say, yeah, I never do it too. Like, that's the only way you get better. Like, you're only going to be as good as the PT you do. And I have one of my older friends, Angela, who's gone now, and she had soldier stuff, and she never did the exercises, and her arm was so limited. So that is my goal. I've been pretty on it. But yeah. But the pendulums, I was doing those before, but I couldn't move I was using my arm to move because the therapist at the time, we were talking about, like, because my job is repetitive, right? Like, what can I do when I get off the desk to kind of loosen up everything, right? And pendulums was absolutely one of them. So that's my promise and commitment to myself, that other than feeding Clara and bathing, that my exercises are so important. So, you know, I use my phone. It reminds me. And, you know, now I don't have anything going on, so it's easy to stop. You know, I have to, you know, I can actually go and look for a week what my desk schedule is like at library, and then make my things around that. But so that's the goal there. But yeah, it's just human nature, something in it. So as of Wednesday, Wednesday was a bad rainy day, right? But I'm committed to walking 10 minutes a day. I hopefully now, because I will wear my sling, I feel like it's not going to be hurt or do any damage. And for my mental health, especially going back to work, and because of the situation going on in the government, and so many government people, you know, come to the library, and spouses of friends and stuff, that I'm going to need really to have something in place. And so that's one of the things I was thinking about. And we're coming up to gorgeous weather. It's going to be a long time before it's too hot to walk, right? And I've been doing Insight Timer, which is a free app. And you can choose 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, or listen to something longer when you have time. So it's so funny because I've been, there's a really good book called, damn it, I can't think of it. I'll have to think of the name and post it. But it was basically a woman who, I think she works for Good Morning America, one of those shows. And she each chapter was a different thing. So January, like January is this dry January, I guess we don't drink. Well, I'm not a big drinker, so. But then like February is consuming water. Like that's your goal this month, is to make sure you get 80 ounces or whatever. You know, there's an optimal and then there's a minimum, right? So try to hit your minimum and, you know, move up to optimal. So it's, I couldn't do it a lot because I felt like I have to go to the bathroom constantly. So I'm working on that. Got my water and I'm trying to slip water in. I gotta get up and I have a thing of water before I have coffee. So I'm just, you know, being conscious of it. And like one of them was meditation. And I could feel my body as I was reading it, like I thought, you have studied so much. You know everything there is to know. You do not need to take a class. You don't need anything. I'm like, you have Insight Timer. And again, the thing with meditation is that I got this a while ago, but I'm not sure where the disconnect is doing it. I guess you're just not doing it and your mind wants, I don't know. But that, because your mind wanders, that is the nature of the mind. So when you're, let's say you're going to sit 5 minutes, right? And you're just going to, just whatever it is, you have a mantra in your mind, you count your breaths, whatever it is, as your mind wanders, you come back. And really, that is absolutely the nature of the brain. And I always kind of felt like, well, I was failing because I just couldn't. And I come to understand that is, it's almost like if you're going to start yoga or you're going to start a program, you were terrible in the beginning, right? You build a muscle. And that, like, even now, I'm so amazed at how wonderful my arm feels compared to what it did. That's just the nature of it. So that's something I'm incorporating. But Insight Timer, which is free, you download it. There's all kinds you can pay for. Calm is a great one. And, you know, my niece gave me, I'm like 2-3 years ago, a gift to that. And I couldn't figure out how to put in the code. Maybe I'll see if it's still good. But yeah, so I'm incorporating that. And the thing is too, like my mind's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that 5 times a day. No, you're not. No, you're not. We're starting, you know, in the morning. I'm still sleeping in late and still kind of like, today was a day I thought, okay, you're gonna get up, you're gonna have your breakfast, you'll get dressed, you can do everything. Find a couple of tasks you need to do. That kind of thing. So I'm trying to get back in a little bit of a groove, because really I can see when people retire, it must be hard. Like my brother is like, we have nothing to do. Like once all the immediate stuff, I'm like, yeah, you'll find things to do. It will fill in. But yeah, so meditation, there was other things too. But the meditation really, I'm like, you have read so much and done so much. You really can just sit down. It's a matter of sitting down and just letting it happen. So I'm working on that because I'm getting a lot of anxiety like right here, and I try to breathe into it, you know? So yeah, so that's what's going on with that. But, you know, I'm trying to think, it has to be something I can easily do. And it's a habit. So I'm really hoping by the time I go back to work, which is like April 11th, unless something happens, we'll get something going on. And I want to start doing a little bit of cooking. I love corned beef and cabbage and potatoes and carrots, and my mom made it so well. And I made it one time, it was terrible. But I found a recipe for the crock pot. So what I'm going to do is go to my Giant, and I'm going to get corned beef, and I'm going to get some salmon. I'm craving lemonade, so I'm just going to find whatever's not, you know, nothing with weird crap in it, because I can't drink much of it because of my stomach. But yeah, get a couple things. And you know, I don't know what's today is. I have to change what is today? No idea. So I know, so I was thinking I would make that on Sunday. And yeah, I'm not sure what today is, what the date is. Sorry, I can't. I need to start doing that. Sit down in the morning, look at the date, and kind of just get myself a little bit in the groove, if you will. But yeah, so it's the same things I've been working on. You know, it's so funny because I think it's a lifetime. I think that's what I got. Beverly and I were talking, and I said, you know, we always held ourselves accountable for linear growth, linear movement, and never stepping back, right? And it's circular. It just is circular. And I think I got that how, self-compassion and that's really what I've been working on, because it's been a struggle. Especially, why are you tormenting yourself about the government when you can't do anything? What can you do? And I do think the more peaceful people can become, the better the world is, right? And I know people are doubting, is there God? I mean, but I do think, and people are angry, and I'm like, for me personally, it's like I have to do something, right? And it's interesting. One of these cases I've been following, it's terrible, actually. And a lot of it, hurt and starts, I can't watch because it involves children. But this woman, I don't know, she got hooked up with this religious leader type, and she was very religious. They're Mormon, LDS, LSD. Long story short, her husband died, his wife died, her two youngest children died. And she had an older son. And I was watching him, and he has a podcast, and he said that, and it's been 5 years, right? Now his mom is in Arizona on trial for the death of her husband. Her brother shot him in self-defense, and now the brother's dead too, by the way. So, but she wants to do it herself, right? It's going to be, I mean, I'm kind of upset. I'm like, I've been home all this time, and the trial's going to start when I go to work, so. But I like to speed up anyway, just watch little bits of it. But he lost his whole family. And his mom's gone because she's acting like what she did won't mean anything to the kids, but they're in a better place and happier where they're at now. They were zombies. I mean, it's crazy. So Lori Vallow Daybell is the case. But watching him, I stumbled onto him. And I had read on people were really critical of him. And like, he love bombs too much. Like, is there too much love bombing? I'm not sure. But part of the channel is you connect with people and it's real. And I thought, like, really? He's like 28 now, but he was much younger when it all happened. And he grew up in an environment, he said, and this is what I find so interesting about him. He said that, well, one, he works on forgiveness. Like, he does not want to hold that. One, his mother's dead, right? Whoever this person is, and he interviewed her for the podcast, and she was just on Dateline, I think. And she's not there. She's not. She has some kind of delusion, and she really thinks like God's her best friend or Jesus or something, and they come and talk and all that. It's really offensive. She says the people that got murdered come and talk to her and love her, whatever. So she's going to be in jail forever. Her spouse that they killed everyone for, he's on death row in Idaho, so. But there were so many tangents to this. Like, I watched a podcast with the guy, his name's Chad Daybell, with his sister-in-law, married to his brother. That was fascinating. And also the Mormon church and what they did and didn't do. And, and that leads to, she actually ended up leaving the church. But all these different people, it's fascinating how these acts really, how they change people's lives, right? So anyway, his name is Colby Ryan, I think. Yeah. So he was talking about forgiveness. And he said, he really understands now forgiveness is ongoing. You don't forgive and it's done, right? He said when he did this interview with his mom, he had to go back into forgiveness and work on that constantly, because he said, it's not like you do something, it's fluid. Right? And you forgive people for your own self. He says he could not stand living the way he was living. Like, he was in a terrible box with all this craziness. So I really thought about that, and things in life, and meditating, not meditating, eating healthy, not eating healthy, walking, not walking. There really is circular. And, yeah. And I thought, again, you have to choose that. He said, sometimes I have to choose it every single day. And he said, sometimes I come across something and I become angry and I go back to choosing forgiveness. It's like a form of meditation, right? But it was so interesting that I stumbled on, how you do. I stumbled on, there's an aunt of the daughter, Tylee, which is his younger sister. And I think she had a different father than him. I mean, the woman, anyway. And this aunt is trying to advocate for Tylee and Tylee's father, who died of a heart attack, but was an alcoholic, and they were in court and claims, there was sexual abuse and all this. So I was looking at the comments, and people were so mean to Colby. And he said flat out, Tylee did not have a relationship with this woman. Well, probably because her mother wouldn't let her. And I just thought, they were saying terrible. I thought, ew, really? He grew up in such a crazy environment. He's like, he's just like his mother. I thought, wow, what a horrible thing to say. But he said, everyone's like, oh, she was a great mom until she wasn't. She was a wonderful mom, wonderful person until she wasn't, right? And he said this has forced him to go back, and he remembers things that he didn't remember that, you just put in your head and move on. But that how often she moved them, even in the middle of the semester, and she was obsessed with death. And she told him, as she sat him down like as a 6-year-old and said, I'm going to be dead in 3 years. Crazy stuff, over and over and over again. So that fallacy that she was this is not true. It's like the mythology and all this kind of stuff, because people don't want to deal with stuff, right? Or can't. So he's been working on that, letting that narrative go, right? That, not that anyone could ever see this happening. No way, but the narrative isn't that she was a wonderful mother. And another person who was her cousin had said that. And then, she got lambasted. But, it says, and it's like, how dare you criticize him? His whole family was murdered by his mother and some dude he never met in his life. So, I don't know. I was just thinking about how people like to get on and criticize and, and he's just, really evil stuff. I thought, and this woman's channel, I think, I was going to I thought, I'm not saying that, I don't think she monetizes. I'm not saying any of this, but her idea, she's advocating for Tylee, but she didn't really know her. But whatever, I'm not going to criticize her for doing that. But it's amazing how people, I would never write down a negative comment. I write down positive comments. I'm like, why are you going to waste your time for that? But anyway, I have been watching that. I've been weaning it because there's nothing new right now. And I have found, I can't even tell you the number of people, but the whole psychological thing. And there's this podcast called Mormon Stories. It's really good. The guy's really good. And it's just interesting how, so yeah, I'm not LDS and I didn't grow up in a super religious, my dad was definitely wanted to go to church and was spiritual, but I never had a chance as an older person to talk to him about that and what it meant, but it meant something to him because we did it. We go every week. And he died when I was 17. So, every Sunday we would go. But yeah, so I was just thinking about that, how I don't know. It's like when my mom died, I remember saying to my brother, mom is not going on a pedestal. I'm not. She, there were amazing times. I can't tell you how fun my mom could be. But it was also really, really challenging, hard times, right? Because, I think it must be not in some people's DNA to put other people first, even children, especially at the time. So I had kind of started, after my mom died, and I started, coming out of the severe grief, I started thinking about things. And what's interesting for me is, my mom in spirit has helped me, and we've healed in a way we could have never done, I don't think, on this planet. So that is, yeah, it's been, so I don't watch these shows for like titillation or anything. It's just fascinating to me how humans, and thinking that, I guess it's like you can see behind the veil and Jesus speaks to you. And in the Mormon church, I think it's legitimate. I don't know. I didn't get too much in it because, there's amazing Mormons. There's people who are living a great life because they're Mormon. So I'm not going to say, but the doctrine is more patriarchal. So a lot of people are leaving, and, people can take anything, right, and abuse people with it. So, and women are kind of meant to be submissive. So crazy. But there's a woman, her name's Heather Daybell, and it's on this podcast, Hidden True Crime. And I really like them because they're not sensational. They really try to get the facts. Her husband is a forensic psychologist. He works with people in jails and testifies and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting how you could say, I don't have anything in common with these people, but it's all emotions, right? And I'm reading a book, and I'm going to do a little book talk about it, about the Stoics, right? Marcus Aurelius and all these, I can't remember AD, but anyway, long time ago. There's no social media. Oh, there's a version of it, I'm sure. But that the same feelings, because we haven't evolved, right? So it's the same feelings, the same emotions we all share. But yeah, so that's been interesting. And I don't know, it gives me something to focus on. I don't watch anything to do with the actual murder of these children or court about it or anything about it. I did watch a couple of the officers who were in charge of this and how hard it was. And at first they were looking for them alive, and then they realized they weren't alive, and looking for the bodies and stuff, and how it's affected them and how obsessed they were to get justice and how it impacted their personal life. And it's just really interesting. And then it's Idaho, right? And it's just so different. But I think this town they moved in was Rexburg, and 95% are LDS. Wild to me. It's just wild. But that's why people move there, right? So anyway, Heather Davis, that's interesting if you're interested on it. There's a 3-part series on that. And then it's unbelievable as she watched in like horror. Like she was sounding the bell, and none of the upper leaders in her ward, I think it's called, her church, didn't believe her, didn't listen to her. It was something. Anyway, so enough of that. But yeah, so my goal now is to start not going wild, but start moving more during the day. I've got, I wouldn't let myself make a list. So I'm going to work on that. What do I want to accomplish? I had a lot of ideas. Like I have 3 bags of stuff like in my drawers at work and all this stuff that I thought, oh, this was a good time to go through it and, probably get rid of most of it, that kind of thing, And start with, today's the day I'm going to start having an art practice again. And right now, I'll just show you, I'm, excuse me. I gotta put it on here. So Beverly got me these for Christmas. They're beautiful. So I'm I want to kind of ease into it. So I have an this is a paperback dictionary. And I'm just laying color down, and I might stencil on them. I might, rip them up, use them and stuff. But anyway, I want to do a couple pages for every color and then, work on my stash. So I'm doing that. So here's this like little miracle. One of the benefits, I have Care First. Excellent insurance, by the way. Excellent people helping me. I can't even describe to you how great people have been. But I have benefits. So one of the benefits was working with a coach, a health coach. And we ended, and it was really good for me. And I'm going to ask to get another one. But there's also a nurse manager, right? That she'll help you figure out whatever it is you need if you can. So I had a flyer for it. And one of my lists is to find that flyer and call and get this started. So yesterday I get a phone call, and now I didn't know it. And now I don't have doctors calling me constantly. So I just I'm going to get a voicemail. And she's a nurse manager from Care First. And when I like her services, I called her right back. I'm like, oh my God, yes. And the only thing she asked me for was an email. They had an old email for me. I thought, okay, she asked for my driver, anything. I'm not, but I believed it was. So, the first thing she did, because I got 30 days of Adderall, generic Adderall, and I got a 20 and a 30, so it was 50 a day, right? Okay. So we did it again, only the 20 came, and I'm pretty sure it said 30s are back ordered, but this is literally as I was going in, just getting ready for surgery. So I said to her, I don't know why I didn't get the 30s and this and that. And then I said, I want to take 50 or 60 and this kind of thing. So she called Caremark for me, but they gave her, I don't know, crazy information. Because I said to her, she's like, well, they say there's a 50 and there's not. Okay. And that you can call CVS near you that they have it. No, they don't, please. So I said to her, don't you see how, and she looked up, she said, yeah, there's no 50. I said, this is how, unless maybe now there is, I don't know, but my brain guy didn't know that either. Anyway, so what we decided is I was going to do 3 20s a day and try to get 90 days. So that's in the process right now, but she was super helpful. And then I'm going to make a list of the drugs I take, and she's going to look at it and tell me, like, I have Synthroid, and that should be taken on an empty stomach before anything else. And then ADHD medicine doesn't like, it wants to be in an acidic environment, so you can't take like my GERD medicine near that. Okay. So I was going to try to figure out myself, but I thought, no, she's like, yeah, no, absolutely. Write a list and I'll work on that. And then I said, well, I would like a nutritionist, but I'd like to know, like, do I have a copay or how many can I have? I said, I'm not looking for I'm not looking for accountability. I'm just looking, I want to say, you know, well, how can I eat better for my GERD and my ADHD, right? I just want just some ideas, right? And some, like, I love a good list. So I said, but, you know, I could write a book, honestly. I could. All of us can at this point. And I want to do the EMDR. So I said, can you find out, like what my copay is? Because right now I'm going to be short money and I can't take that expense on. But in the future, you know, it's something I want to do. And yeah, so it was just super helpful, you know. That was like a miracle. I told to Beverly, that's like an angelic moment. Like, that was wild. Because I've never had anyone call me and ask me before, but I've had them send me brochures and stuff. And I really liked her a lot. And so yeah, miracles can happen, right? But yeah, so that's what's going on. And I had filmed stuff before my surgery. If it's me about worrying about going to surgery, I probably won't post it. But I know Mark and Sue and I did a taste test. So I want to look at that. And yeah. So that's what's going on. And yeah, it's been something. It's been something. And I'm just thankful. One, even if, like, the hospital cost me nothing. And even if I end up, because of my, you know, I should have talked to her about that. But she emailed me, and I'm going to email that stuff, and I will ask her about it. You know, that this is my deductible. And I'm like, I'm wondering, like, can I spread it out? I don't know. But I'll do what I have to do. But it's so nice, you know, that she's sort of my advocate and will get information for me. And, you know, like I told her, it's been 2 years of struggling with no medicine for my brain and taking stuff that doesn't work as well. And the depression, you know, the depression that comes with it is unbelievable. Like, came in like a tsunami. So that was, yeah, it's just amazing, honestly. So, because it's so hard to figure stuff out when your brain's not functioning. I mean, it's like a nightmare, really. But already today, I feel myself just more like myself, and just like, I've been wanting to do this every day. Today I can do it. It's like 3 days on my medicine. And it's a lower dosage, which is fine. But it's a miracle. And man, but I want to talk to someone too about, you know, and I said to her, what's sad is I know I'm not guaranteed to have this every day. Like, next time I might not get any. Insane. But I need to talk to someone about, like, and like, how do I treat, like, I take Wellbutrin right now, but how do I treat that depression? Like, because of it comes with ADHD. Is it a different thing? Is it a different thing in my brain? Like, you know, if I have my medicine, it's not like I'm, you know, never depressed, but it changes completely. So, but I'm going to do again what I can. And, you know, the meditation's been great. And I think that's helped me do this today too. And, you know, girl, y'all, drink your water. I'm so lucky. I love water. It's just you sit there and you forget to do it. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to go and have some quiet moments and then think about driving. Haven't started my car in 5 weeks, but I'm sure it's fine. And then what I truly am going to get at the grocery store and think it out in my head. And I'm still eating out what I have in my refrigerator. Like, that's something I want to do today, is take out. It's just, you know, I'm all over the place. And my friend had brought me a chicken, and I've been kind of pulling the meat and making sandwiches, but figure out, don't want to do anything else with it. That kind of thing, you know? And, but yeah. So I hope you're here, and I do apologize. Yeah. I don't know why things go away that are really important and matter to you. So, but here I am, and I'm not a new me, but I'm so happy to be on the other side. This really, for a year, it was just scary. And then the thought of it was so scary. Every time someone, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be here for a while. I'm like, oh, I'm having surgery. Like, what? Rotator cuff. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Person after person. And you know what? It's not pleasant. It's not that. I mean, you just, you know, how I tortured myself over it. is something I've been working on and journaling on. I don't want to do that anymore because it was not near as anywhere like that. It's just something you do, right? But it's hard, you know. I mean, stuff going on that I hadn't anticipated going on, because that's how life is, right? You cannot plan for everything or try to control everything. I get that repeated in my life over and over again. So anyway, you guys, thank you. I'll be back. My goal is to go sit down and post these, and then you know, work on the other stuff, and, you know, try to have something coming out every day, and, you know, maybe do little taste tests and stuff like that. And then Mark and Sue and I are planning a taste test too. I think it'll be a while before I feel comfortable driving to their house. And so we'll see if I can get them over here. But, you know, they have a dog. Literally, this dog has walked all day for the mental health of the dog. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much, and I'll be back.